Ms. Horton.
Yes.
You and the man you have always believed is your dad have dragged your mother to court because you say she was never faithful. So neither of you believes that the man standing next to you is your biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Conrad.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim you've given the plaintiffs no reason to doubt that he is her biological father, and today's results will prove your case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Horton, your daughter is 26 years old. Why did you decide to bring this case to court?
I think it's time to find out the reason. If she really is mine, I have no idea. I don't know. She was unfaithful all the time, but I raised my daughter since she was little. But I'm getting slack from other family members and friends that say that she's not my daughter because she has blue eyes, and I have brown. The whole family has brown. The mother has brown eyes. There's nobody in my family has blue eyes.
And at 26 years old, Ms. Horton, I can see how much this upsets you.
Yeah.
And you have the man you believe is your father questioning your paternity?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
You're both here to prove that he's not your biological father, and yet you're hoping that he is.
I'm praying, yes.
I'm hoping she is too, but right here every day, she's not your daughter. Why you taking care of her? Why you taking her? You know when I was running around, you know, blah, 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 I hear it all the time.
You hear this all the time?
Yeah, all the time.
Ms. Conrad.
You know, that's not true. I am 150 to 200 for sure. He is the father of my daughter, Brenda.
How could...
Now, Ms. Conrad says she's 150 to 200%,
okay,
but you say you're 100% sure Ms. Horton is not.
Rebuttal. I mean, if you sleep around with different men and you sleep at the same time, how can you be sure who the parent is? How can you be sure?
Because I know when I did.
So it is your testimony that Ms. Conrad was sleeping around with various men.
My kids can tell you that. She can tell you that. One time we were in the house. I acted like I was going to work at an apartment across the street and walked around the back and snuck in the basement. She was sneaking out the door to go across the street with some guy. One time we lived in an apartment, and a friend of mine, we were sitting there partying, and I seen him give me the eye. And I said, I'm not stupid. I said, okay, so I went act like I was going to bed. I heard the door shut, real quiet. I knocked on the door. I said, let me in. You're not coming in. I said, is Brenda there? No. I said, let me in. She opened the door, and she was in there.
Ms. Conrad, is this true?
I have ran around on him. Yes, I have. Yes, it was, but my children remember that because they were already born then when I wasn't.
Yes.
So it is your testimony that you did cheat on Mr. Horton, but it was after your children were born.
The timing's wrong.
The timing's wrong.
Right.
And so, Mr. Horton, she says your timing is off.
Wrong. In that period of time, there was always been affairs, always. In my opinion, if there's many stuck out of it in her, she'd be a porcupine. And that's the way I look at it.
That was wrong.
I just got that. Okay. We want to be respectful in the courtroom.
I'm trying to be respectful. That's why I put it nicely.
Ms. Conrad, this is really upsetting you now. Why?
Yeah, because it's not true.
It is so true.
I'm not like that. Your Honor.
My daughter
Wait,
can't
hold on. What part of it is untrue?
The disrespect that he's given me.
I'm not
it's
trying to disrespect him, but just trying to tell the truth.
He has said that you've had many sexual encounters outside of your relationship
How
with
does
him.
he know? Was he there?
Well, actually,
I mean,
you
yes,
just
I was.
no. Actually, you just
No, he
testified to
believes
that.
Other people, other than who he really should believe.
Let's move forward with the testimony because I want to understand the nature of the relationship and how it began. You have 4 children.
Yes.
4 children, yes.
Yeah, 4, yes.
Yes.
And you met
Yes,
when?
Your Honor.
Supposedly.
Take me back.
I was 15.
You were 15 when you met.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you were very young when you met.
Yes, Your Honor.
And
I'm beautiful. Sorry.
Beautiful.
I'm so sorry.
you don't ever have to apologize for saying your mother was beautiful. So you all start this relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you get married?
Yes, ma'am.
You do. Eventually you get married.
Your Honor, can I say something, please? Sometimes I've been having doubts because I look at my face, and I've been trying for years, to get a DNA test, but I wasn't able to at the time because my mom didn't feel comfortable going, but I can understand my mom because she don't want any trouble, and I'm not here to, make anybody upset or nothing, but
I see that you feel pulled
my mother's in my
between
life, yes.
your mother and your father. And when you say, I'm not here to upset anyone.
Yes, I'm not.
But we're here for you.
I know, yes,
You
Your
understand
Honor.
that?
Your Honor.
And I tried when I've been trying for years to get a DNA test, but I wasn't able to because at the time I didn't have all the information right.
Understood. But that's why this court exists.
Yes.
This is what is so valuable about coming to court
Yes.
and having your side of the story heard. What I find, especially as judge of this courtroom, is that everyone has a side. Right. And there are parts
Yes,
of
ma'am.
their sides of the story that make sense. You know, our jury is the DNA, which means that's going to be the deciding factor.
Yes, ma'am. Look, I didn't bring her here, Miss Judge. I didn't bring Miss Conrad here. She was the one to call the court. I had
Yes, I'm the
nothing
one
to
that
do
called
with it.
But I want to say this to you. The paternity question is important to resolve.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is.
Amen.
Because if there is a question of it, already this young woman, 26 years old, beautiful girl, she's standing in court and upset and crying over her doubts. My heart breaks when she says to me, I look in the mirror and I look at my features. No 26-year-old young woman trying to navigate her way through life should have to look in the mirror and evaluate her features to see if she looks like her father. I want to get direct testimony about the time and the window of conception. Mr. Horton, during the window of time Ms. Horton was conceived, do you contend, is it your testimony that there was a relationship outside of the marriage?
I've heard. We lived in town last at the time, and we had a mailman that had light hair and blue eyes and had a beauty mark right here. My daughter has blue eyes, blonde hair, and a beauty mark in the same exact spot.
It's cute though.
There was a mailman in
Yes.
your town.
Yes, there was.
Sir, you brought an exhibit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, step over to it,
All right,
please.
thank you. My daughter has blonde hair. The man would have blonde hair. The man would have blue eyes. My daughter's got blue eyes. The birthmark I caught, or beauty mark, whatever you want to call it, had the same mark, the same spot. I don't know for sure, but I've heard. That's the only one I don't know for sure. The rest of them I can tell you I knew for sure.
So this mailman delivered your mail every day?
Yes.
And has blonde hair, blue eyes, and a birthmark?
Yes.
The same features as your daughter?
Yes.
And so, for how many years have you heard rumors that she potentially was fathered by this mailman?
I didn't think of it first because I didn't want to think about it. And then after my daughter got older, and I noticed she got blue eyes. I got hazel eyes. Her mother's got brown eyes. Nobody in my family has blue eyes on either side.
You can step back to the podium.
Your Honor.
Ms. Conrad, you admitted in the relationship you had outside relationship.
Yeah, that was after Brenda was born.
But this was
All my
after the children were born. You said, but you know who this mailman is. He's talking
No.
about? You don't even remember this person.
Oh, no, Your Honor. This is new to me.
That's because there was so many of them.
So the milkman, what happened to the milkman?
Hold
now
on.
It's the mailman.
That's
It was
what
the
you
milkman. Now it's the mailman.
Well, now I'm
You
getting
know, I
fired
mean,
up
it's
now
like a
'cause she's
back
getting
and forth,
lying.
a vice versa thing with him. You know, I don't know whether he can keep the right story or not.
So wait. First he used to say it was the milkman?
Yeah. and
They
then it
weren't-
was the
they weren't
mailman.
delivering milk.
And then it was-
Exactly.
I mean, I'm
Thank
confused here
you.
myself.
Thank you.
This is about her. My baby right here
Yep.
has the right to know. It's been 26 years.
Absolutely.
He can't even remember a DNA test that the
There
court
was a-
recommended
Did I
when
see
they
any
were
papers?
in foster care.
Did I see any
let
papers?
alone who I slept with.
Excuse
Hold
me.
on. Basically, Mr. Horton believes that this man, this mailman, with blonde hair, blue eyes, and a birthmark
he
in
was
pretty
fine.
much the same position
Training.
as your daughter's, could potentially be your daughter's father. You're saying that's not true.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're also saying that you had a DNA test performed in the court?
No, the court, when they were in foster care, Your Honor, the judge wanted to know because he said the same thing that he's sitting here telling you in court. He said to them,
A previous paternity test was performed. What were the results?
99% his children.
Did you bring that evidence to court?
They gave it to my lawyer that presented it to the judge, and the judge said it in court with his lawyer being there, too.
Your Honor,
Mr. Horton, have you ever seen this paperwork?
that story is fabricated. There was no judge ordered anything. I asked for the DNA test. I've never seen nothing. I've been questioning Tony since she's been born, and she's even questioned it. That's the reason why we're here, Your Honor.
Since the day this child was born,
No,
26 years ago, you've questioned whether or not she was yours?
Yes.
Ms. Horton, I want to hear from you. I hear this man you believe is your biological father saying, from the day you were born, he has always questioned paternity. Have you felt that growing up?
Honestly, no. Oh, not at all.
You never felt that?
I never felt it, but as I got older, like when I turned like, I would say 25, I kind of did have doubts, but my boyfriend says I look like him. A lot of people say I look like him.
When you started having doubts, why did you have doubts?
Because I just look in the mirror and sometimes I don't see him. You know what I mean? I just don't see him in me. But my mom's father has blue eyes. My cousins have blue eyes.
I want to know, how did this come about? Who told you this may not be your father?
Well, my siblings sit there and say that I'm not his because I have blue eyes. I look different than everybody else, you know, and...
Your Honor, her older sister, she told me, she said, yeah, she knows that she used to tell Brenda that she was the milkman.
Well, let me just say this.
He
A
just goes
lot of
overboard, Your Honor.
that's a joke. That is like a
Yeah,
common
right,
phrase.
exactly.
I get that.
Right, Your Honor.
What concerns me is this has gone to another level.
Right.
Through the years, she may have gotten bits and pieces of things. The milkman baby joke. You don't look like daddy.
sorry.
Her looking at her own self in the mirror. And what I'm saying is circumstantially, she has put together pretty much a case where she doesn't know if the man she has always thought is her father is truly her biological
Mom,
father.
That's the reason why
My
we're here.
mom understands.
That's the
My
reason
mom
why we're here.
understands.
She's not tuning the whole story because she don't want to say something.
No,
to her
I'm
mother.
being honest.
She could tell you stories.
So what you're saying is she has information that she hasn't shared in court.
Exactly.
Look, children feeling torn in between their parents on any level, it is hard on the young person. As soon as this
Yes,
court
ma'am.
case began, Miss Horton was in tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is hurting her.
Yep.
And I've seen her during this case look at her mother and say something to her like, Mommy, I love you, or it's gonna be okay. Then she's got turned back to you. Daddy, I mean, I can see this tennis ball thing, everyone
give her a
can
hug?
see it here. Yes, you may. Of course you can hug your mother.
We're it's only for me and you hanging out today, not him. I promise.
And what I need you to understand before we go to these results, Miss Horton, is that this is for you and about you.
Yes.
Because you're worth it.
Yeah.
This is not because you did something wrong. You are just fine
Yes.
where you are, who you are, saying that you need an answer. That's okay. All right?
Yes.
We're about to go to the results. Miss Conrad, is there anything you'd like to say to your daughter before we go to the results?
I just want this DNA to be proven.
Yes.
Is there something you'd like to say to her, though? I know you're ready
love
for the...
you.
I love you too, Mom.
And I always have, and you're still
I
my
know.
baby girl.
Yes, she's still my favorite mom. Favorite mom.
Oh,
Are you prepared for the results either way, Miss Conrad?
yes.
You are.
Truth.
Mr. Horton, are you prepared?
Yes.
It's interesting that you stand here to basically prove that she's not your daughter, but you're hoping that she is.
Right.
I'm not praying. I've been praying
And
too.
so I know this is very difficult for you. I know it is. Both of you very lucky to have such an amazing
Thank you.
young girl.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm ready for the results. Jerome?
I'm scared.
Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Horton versus Conrad, when it comes to 26-year-old Brenda Horton, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Horton, you are the father.
Oh my God! Yes! Mommy, you were right! You were right, Mommy! You were right! I love you so much! I knew
Thank
I
you.
should have believed you, Mom! Oh my God, it's weird!
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Honor.
much. It's been such a blessing.
I'm really relieved now. I can tell everybody to kiss my butt.
Well, listen, you could have just said, I can live with this doubt.
I
Let's
could
never
have,
get
but
the
you
answer.
couldn't.
Right. And isn't that at the end of the day what being an amazing dad is about? That even though you could have just lived with it, because she could not, You supported your baby girl in her quest to know the truth, even though that truth could have led you to a different result. You overcame that fear and supported her. And Ms. Conrad, I appreciate your testimony. The paternity questions usually revolve around the sexual activity of the woman.
Right.
And it's hard
Yes, Girl.
sometimes having to relive issues you may have put behind you, and yet the question of paternity was still existing within the soul and spirit of your daughter. And because you had the courage, she now has the answer she needs. So, Ms.
Brenda,
Horton,
I'm sorry.
I wish you the...
Apology accepted.
Hold on now.
Apologies.
Wait a minute. I don't want to talk over that moment. Say it again, Mr. Horton.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Mahan, you claim the defendant, your ex-fiance, Mr. Shrum, cheated on you while you were pregnant, broke off your engagement, and now is denying paternity of your 1.5-year-old son, Blake. Mr. Shrum, you deny that you are the father of the plaintiff's baby. You state she cheated on you and had sexual relations with an ex during the time of conception.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Ms. Mahan, why are you convinced that the defendant is the father?
Your Honor, I am extremely upset with this man. I have tried time and time and again to convince him that he is the only man I had unprotected sex with when my son was conceived, but he refuses to believe me. I've been trying for the past
That's not
year.
true.
I've been trying for the past year and a half to convince him that this is his son, but he denies the fact that it is his child. And the
Yeah,
only...
it's kind of hard. Like I said, I deny the fact because, like I said, you know, one night I woke up and she was next to me. I go out to the living room and she's underneath the covers with her ex.
Okay, let's start from there. You were living together
Yes, ma'am.
and in a relationship.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
You're in the bed one night, wake up, she's not there.
Nope.
And you do what? You go where?
I go out to the living room to see if I can find her, and she's underneath the covers with her ex.
Ms. Mahan, is that true?
The only reason he's saying this is because him and my ex did not get along at all since day
Well,
one of mine and his
no.
relationship.
Was your ex over there?
He
Yeah.
was living with us at the time because...
Yeah.
So wait, was this a three's company? What was this?
No, Your Honor. No, it was not.
She-
I had a brief relationship with this man, and we broke it off several months prior to me and Mr. Shrum getting
I
together.
heard things were going on before I moved up there. So,
Oh, so the ex lived there before you?
yes, he's lived there for quite a while. And I also one night, I caught her, you know, I woke up like another night, and
Okay,
she-
before you get to another night, I gotta understand this night.
Yes, ma'am.
You walk in and they're under the covers.
Yes, ma'am.
Doing what? I don't even know if
Snuggling
I
with-
was nowhere near him. I was on one end of the couch. He was on another. I had my blanket and he had his.
That's not true. They weren't even watching TV. They're face to face. I felt like I was betrayed. You know, like I said, was she rather be with him or me? You need to pick which one you need to do.
Now, when you moved in with her and the ex was already living there, did you feel some kind of way about that?
Oh yeah, like I said, I didn't like it at all. I figured, that she has her ex and her current boyfriend living there. I figured, the
Did
ex
you
could leave.
suggest maybe he would need to find somewhere else to live?
Oh yeah, he could have. He could have other places to live. He
No,
could've-
did you suggest that to her?
Yeah, plenty of times, but she just didn't want him to go because I supposedly didn't have no place to go.
Okay. So how quickly after you met and got together did you get pregnant?
It was about a month after me and him got together and he moved in with us.
I never knew she was pregnant.
That is a lie. I called you and I told you that I
No.
was pregnant the day I found out I
No,
was pregnant.
you told me that you were pregnant after we split up, after I called your mom's cell phone, you were at the hospital.
So you were pregnant and you're saying that you told Mr. Shrum from the get-go, I'm pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor, I did. We had spent a month up at his mother's house. We bought a pregnancy test while we were up there. It came out positive. And during the month of conception,
You bought the pregnancy test together?
I bought it and he just watched me use it.
Oh. And I'll leave that alone.
No, like I said,
Mr. Shrum,
I never seen
surely
that.
you wouldn't forget that visual if it
I know,
had
right?
happened.
But I never remember that at all.
You don't
Your mother's-
remember that happening?
No, not at all.
His mother sat there and told him just because both of the blue lines on the plus sign were not the same exact shade of blue, that it was a faulty pregnancy test.
You don't remember that either?
Nope.
Wow. Well, let's move forward. So you guys were still a couple at this time when you told him you were pregnant, but he never heard you.
Yes, Your Honor. We had gotten into a big altercation. It was hot one night. He was complaining because it was hot. I told him to quiet down. My mom had to get up the next morning to go to work at 4 o'clock. He started hollering and screaming at me. I slapped him on the arm and told him, you need to quiet down. You're going to wake up my mother. He turns around and bites me. I scream, and my mom comes in the room and tells him he needs to get out or she was going to call the cops.
Well, if you wouldn't have, you know, like I said, you know.
Did you bite her?
Yes, he did.
Yes, Your Honor, he did.
Yes,
he left
he
the
did.
bruise.
He's admitting it. If you all give him a chance to talk, he's admitting it. Mr. Shrum, why would you bite Ms. Mann?
Because, like I said, this one night, you know, she just got all, you know, mad at me because I was trying to talk to her about her ex, you know, see if she still loved him and cared a lot about him. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I guess she wanted to sleep, and so I was laying on my stomach, and she just, you know, started beating the crap out of me from behind. You know, the only way I could get her off of me is, you know, bite her on the leg.
Were you beating him?
No, Your Honor, all I did was slap him on the arm and tell him to quiet down, or else he was going to wake up my mother, and I do not like dealing with my mother when she gets woken up in the middle of the night.
She's a liar.
No, she's not.
Okay. So, Mr. Shrum, you don't see it this way. She attacked you.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had to defend yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever.
And you bit her.
Yes.
And so you had this huge altercation, then what happens?
He bit me, left a bruise about the size of a $50, real nasty purple color on my thigh. My mom comes in the room after I scream, tells him he either has to get out by the time she gets off of work willingly, or she was going to call the cops and have them remove him from the property permanently.
At this time, I'd like to call plaintiff's witness to the podium. Please stand, ma'am. State your name.
Candace Mahan?
Hello, Miss Mahan. Now, you are the plaintiff's mother.
Yes, ma'am.
And what would you like to add?
That he is a two-faced liar.
Oh.
I am the grandmother. I am not the father. I have raised this child. He's almost 2 years old. I have done nothing but raised him, clothed him, diapered him, made sure he had food in his belly and a roof over his head.
So you're pregnant now. During this time, is he supporting you at all?
No,
Is he helping?
No, Your Honor, he did not.
He's a deadbeat.
We made a promise to each other to get married the day after my 18th birthday, and he does not give me any prior notice that he is leaving me for another woman. He had been sleeping with this woman for 2 weeks after we were still together.
Is that true, Mr. Shrum?
I was with another woman, but like I said, we were broke up at the time.
During this time, you're suggesting that she was sleeping with other people during the time of conception.
Yes.
Is this true,
Looks
Ms.
like his
Mann?
ex.
Did you sleep with anybody?
No, I did not have any kind of sexual relations with anybody else.
I have my doubts, you know. I really do.
No exes, nobody, not
The
one
ex-
person.
The ex that was living with us, I had slept with him. but
Okay. When?
Before me and Mr. Shrum got together.
Mr. Shrum, was that your understanding, or did you believe they were still kind of hooking up,
Yeah,
as you
I do
all
believe
would
that
say?
there was still stuff going on between them two. I really do.
When the baby was born, did you come see the baby? Were you there for Ms. Mahan?
I've never seen the baby at all.
I called him 5 days after I had my son when they finally let me go home. And he asked me, what's wrong? Did you lose the baby?
How, Mr. Shrum, do you ask her, did she lose the baby if you never knew she was pregnant?
I say because I talked to her that the same day that she had it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I was pregnant with your son." I was like, "Okay, how is this?" I
And
never
when he
got any
asked me
phone
that,
calls or
it
nothing
made
like
me
that.
very upset. It made me feel like he wanted me to lose the baby. Like, so he would be free from any kind of responsibility he'd have to have towards this child.
Well, speaking of responsibility, did you accept any, Mr. Shrum? Have you helped support the child at all?
No, Your Honor,
No, I have not.
Nope.
Because like I said, I never met him, never seen him.
My son does not get a phone call. He does not get a card. He doesn't get a present.
Like
He doesn't
I said,
get
you know,
anything.
why
His birthday
why should I help
rolls
support
around.
a kid that's not mine?
He never once called. He did not send him a birthday card or a present. It broke my heart that this man does not want anything to do with my son.
Mr. Shrum?
I say I want to know if he's really mine or not. I really do. Because like I said, if he is mine,
Then you can step up because I'm the grandmother, not the father.
exactly.
And you're going to take responsibility, not me.
What I'm not getting from your story is why, specifically, what evidence you would have that would suggest that you are definitely not the father of this child.
Yeah.
And if you were with her during the period of conception, how are you suggesting that this is an impossibility?
Because, like I say, he doesn't have my ears, eyes, nothing.
Because
Looks do not matter, Doyle.
Yeah, it does.
Look
No,
at me.
it
I look
don't.
just like my mother, but that doesn't mean she went and cheated on me
See?
with somebody else.
Do you think we look anything alike? I
Yes,
don't think
he's
we
got
do.
his own.
No.
He's got your eyes.
No,
No.
they don't.
yes, he
This
does.
is a picture of you as a baby
Yes.
and of Blake as a baby. You say you see absolutely no resemblance.
None whatsoever.
I think what I need to know going forward is your intentions. What if this is your child?
I'm gonna step up and become a father.
Are you sure of that?
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Currently he has been trying to get me to leave the man I am with right now and go back to him. He said that is the only way he would take care of his child.
Is that true? Wow.
No, ma'am. Like I said, I still love her, and I still want to be with her. You know.
If you still love me and you still wanted to be with me,
Wait a minute.
why'd you give somebody else?
Wait a minute. We just had a news flash come through the courtroom. You just stated that you still love Ms. Mahan
Yes, ma'am.
and you still want to be with her.
Yes.
Together as a family with your son, should this be determined,
Yes,
this is your
ma'am.
child.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what about if it's not your child? Do you still want to be with her?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Even though all the, the bull she's put me through, and, all the stuff I put her through, like I say, I still care about her.
You
I really
still
do.
have a girlfriend now.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have no problems remaining in a civil relationship with this man.
Does she know this?
Yes, I know. He told me himself.
No, does the girlfriend know that you really want to be with Ms. Mahan?
Yes, she does.
Oh, okay. This is really good. Okay, so Ms. Mahan, you hear now, Mr. Shrum has indicated to the court and to you that he really wants to be with you. Do you really want to be with him?
No, Your Honor, I do not, because I am afraid he will revert back to his old ways. I told him a while back, the only way I would get back with him is if he took another month of anger management classes, and after we go back together, he'd have to continue taking them for a year. He refused to do so, so I told him, then I cannot be with you. I love the man I am with right now. We've been talking about getting married, and I'm not going to give up my happiness for him to be able to take care of his son.
But either way, regardless of if you two get back together or not, you do understand that the child, Blake, is the most important thing in this situation, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I hear a lot of arguing about he said this and she said this and he did this and then she did this, and I don't hear as much talk about the baby.
Your Honor, that is the only reason I've been fighting with this man for the past year and a half is because of my son. I have sacrificed so much to make sure my son has the things that he needs. And this man can't even spare $20 for a pack of diapers or wipes or milk or anything my child needs. We have a hard enough time making sure we have everything we need. Then we get into a scrape where we have to ask one of our relatives to help us out, and we hate doing that. It is not their responsibility. It is not my parents' responsibility to take care of this child. It's his.
Well, the court needs to say this to both of you. Before you embark on activities that produce children, you may want to consider if you could afford them. Now that baby Blake is here and is a blessing, if it's determined that Mr. Shrum is the father, you both will be responsible to take care of him. But understand, Ms. Mahan, if something happens and he is not determined to be the father, it is still a responsibility that you have brought on yourself. And as you can see, it has overwhelmed your mother, because I'm sure she's thinking about just raising you and getting you off in life.
I've raised my kids.
She's raised her kids. You heard what she said. But now you've put her in a position where now she's raising yet a grandchild. Now, getting to the DNA results, it's time for you all to know whether or not Mr. Shrum is the father. And not just so that you will know whether she cheated and she will know what. At the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about baby Blake.
Your Honor, and my biggest fear with my son is that when he gets older, he's going to ask me, why doesn't my daddy want me? That's always been my biggest fear with my child. And every time I think about it, it makes my heart hurt. It breaks my heart.
I want him if he's mine. I really do. If he's mine, I want him.
He sounds sincere, Ms. Mahan. And despite his mistakes, would you be willing to accept he does want him and he does want to be a part of his life?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. Well, with that being said, Jerome, do you have the results?
I certainly do.
Thank you. All right, when it comes to the matter of baby Blake, Jerome, do you have the results?
I certainly do.
Thank you. All right, when it comes to the matter of baby Blake, it has been determined by this court that you are the father.
Booyah!
You are. Tell me what you feel. It's okay.
Can't believe I wasn't there for him.
You have regrets. That's honest. Do you hear him?
Yes, I do.
Tell me what you feel.
I want to see him.
Good. Because I know he wants to see you. What would you want to say?
I love him. And I'm sorry for denying him.
Is it okay if Mr. Shrum meets his son for the very first time in my chambers?
Yes, Your Honor. He may.
Beautiful. This has been a good day because we have done something not just for you, but for baby Blake. Because he has a mom and a dad that both want to be in his life. And that's what every child deserves. I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you in chambers. Court is adjourned.